because you don't have a Braum shield and equalizer, and Lucian goes down very quickly. You don't have the damage to turn that around now.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, obviously things like Santi going all out.
Everything.
That is
absolutely everything. The full build Poppy. So like, look, the biggest casters in the world who have the most eyes and ears on them do get to, hang on a second, this is the full build Poppy!
There's the dive on into the Rune Prison as well. Xiaohu's in so much trouble, and he is dead to rights. Nice play in mid lane.
It did full build, but it has prophesized! Poppy, I'll get you! He was the tennis player. Boris, what's his name?
Oh.
Yeah, one of the huge tennis players of the 80s. Dragon has been started up. We're actually going to contest over. Well, we do have a level 6 Poppy now, actually. JJ ahead in fact. Oh, yeah, the Poppy level 6. This means that they can, even if they don't want to fight, can pull that ultimate, see if they can force the smite out and get the contest for free.
To do it, there comes some damage.
Oh, great wall stun.
Massive damage from that wall stun. Galio does come on and try to keep people alive. TM fails to flash out, but Galio will get traded. Turnaround damage beginning to come on through. The 1-for-1 as it stands. Importantly, Gala is the one that died versus TN though, so there's no smite available right now, making this a bit of an interesting one. JJ should be able to secure this with that smite and does so. The Winds of War nicely timed, but it won't turn into anything.
Really good play from JJ. Last game was diffed by TN pretty hard, but this time get to kill it. Minutes till Dragon. Have you talked about that? Have I?
No.
Cool. Right, okay, that one's a safe topic. Cool. You can tell our active listening definitely goes through the drain when we get up early and we have to cast many games of League of Legends. Minutes for that. Of course, no flash on Xiaohu now is going to be impactful for that. The Shy also not going to have flash. Does he teleport towards top side and just match breathe because neither of them have teleport? Eha going forwards, catching out Gala.
Fair damage down. Does to stand and deliver though as Era does finally get the Magnet Storm down. Gala about to find himself in danger. Does get turned around on though as Rise finally begins to unleash. Bullet time. Wonderful angle into the Keeper's verdict. Keeps them locked up there in the waves of firepower. Xiaohu now needs to back away, but where does he run except into a wall courtesy of a little shove from JJ.
It's the blue side aura. IG. Playing so different to that first game, cleanly finding engages. I really think Rookie, who's pulling the Realm Warp, has been such an impact in this early game. Has Cleanse and Flash. Lights, very nearly going down. Rookie flashing forward, can't quite confirm the kill.
Look in there, it was a little bit far, but hey, Rookie's feeling it. 3-0 and 2. Yep. Looking a lot more confident than the Azir last game where it felt pretty hard to play.
I think a lot of people think of Rise as a scaling pick, and he is. I think early game Rise is incredibly potent, though. Speaking of that, he's probably recalling. Zenith Blade will just stop her from, well, it will stop the recalls, though, will air her, so he's still happy with that. Dragon Startup wasn't, of course, taken in that last play. But yeah, the early game of Rise, now particularly on this patch, where the combo went from 40% bonus damage to 60%. Very, very powerful. Going to find a little bit of that because he doesn't have flash. He's been stopping recalls, and instead finding a quick way home himself.
That was great from Era. And again, this is a player we had a lot of love for a couple series back, but he has been known to be a little bit flippy looking for the big plays and oversteps his bounds there pretty heavily. He's rightly punished. Yeah. Dragon goes the way of Weibo.
Yeah, against any much better time for himself on the Misfortune compared to the Callisto of last game. Playing picture-in-picture. Breathe trying to look for a 1v1. Does get some decent damage, misses a Q. And the Shy will pick up a kill onto Breathe.
It's work there. He just gets to stand and deliver with a little bit of assistance from his Rise and Poppy. And in fairness, I'm looking at this now, and this Rise is so damn scary. To start split pushing away, he's got a couple grubs to his name as well. Rise, not necessarily the best turret taker per se, but he's quite a good side laner because of his mobility and survivability. He's about to face check a Pantheon though, and that might be a little less fun. Begins to run away quite fast with the phase rush. I believe he gets speed off his passive as well. I forget exactly what Ryan's passive does in its entirety, but there we go. Xiaohu is caught in the red side. John, how are you here? Why are you here? He was by Krunks!
My dude, there is smoke and mirrors, and then there's blowing smoke up your... okay, whatever. Xiaohu, dying in the enemy jungle, 0-3. As Weibo, the wheels have come off the train at this point, and other such analogies too. That Grand Starfall coming in mid lane, but again, it's a snatch and grab play. Mako has flash. To bullet time, getting good damage down. Yes, the E comes through from the Pantheon, but Gala and Mako winning out largely in the 2v3.
Huge value there as they just find themselves a lot of gold ahead generally. Yeah, 4k up this early on. It's brutal.
I'm sorry, guys. We're more pin towards top side. That'll just be to collect the wave, no extra. Rel was meant to be like 16, so that feels bad calling him.
She's 34 now.
Which is not right, by the way. It's like the fact that they just retconned that is such a huge difference. Anyway, Breed missing that Q3. There is a Pantheon on top, though, but Poppy's here to stop him.
Yeah, now looking top side to potentially shield vault onto Rookie. Deus shield vault, but here comes the Keeper's verdict to the rule knocked away.
Wait, Xiaohu's in trouble now.
Oh, Xiaohu, no! The verdict is death.
He thought he'd have teammates, folks. He thought he'd have teammates. And JJ hits the eject button. Like one of those really weird Pokemon comps with Dynamax. Whatever, that was the whole few metas away. JJ has been utterly unleashed in the pop. He can even go behind top lane if he wants to do an extra kind of threat onto Breathe here. Breathe, I'm not sure you want this fight.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Ult where my teammates left once again.
Breathe, you are not safe to be here. Mako's here now.
He's all out. Come on. Take those trading weights off. Here comes Era. Let's go, value. They shut down Rookie. That's actually fairly significant. Mako now in danger as the Culling comes on through. Trying to get the kill. Can't quite get it as the minions are in the way.
Okay, that time Breathe could go for it. My mistake. I wasn't watching the minimap. The cardinal sin of everything does have flash. Might be able to go to Mako. Mako doesn't flash early. Flashes late instead and dies. 2 quick kills for Weibo.
Massive value there, as they will manage to nab away a turret as well. That's the bounty. The problem is Gala's in the mid lane with a Herald working, so should be able to drive forward towards the second turret. Does so. That means tier 2 likely going to fall here, though I think Xiaohu probably does have just enough wave clear here to deny that. 30 seconds on Dragon. Tien ulting in, looking for an angle, can't quite do it. And the attempted punish on the shove through mid doesn't happen.
So Weibo, do you manage to get some gold top lane turret to sit back and be aware of the reality of the situation? Dragon now going into IG. That would be their second. And Weibo, not sure they'll look into another play like that again in terms of the cleanup after that play.
So where do we find ourselves right now? And it ain't getting any easier. Again, about to get jumped on. Does have Breathe around. She just starts away the big drugs. Shield vault forwards. Lights now around. And I think they might have got a little too deep here. Mako does manage to get some value there with the Zenith Blade. The Keeper's Verdict knocks one away, namely the Pantheon, which is actually a fair amount of damage. Turn around from area. In comes the Hero's Entrance. Mako now in danger. Going to get caught in the Equalizer, though, with the bullet time is brutalizing. 2 additional members down. Xiaohu getting burned alive as Light trying to try it up best he can. Rookie flashing on out. Gets shoved into the wall. Does Breathe as GHA gets on a triple kill to Gala's misfortune. GHA still hunting as he puts down a hammer shock and backs away. Man, this misfortune just untouched. Got to auto. And the love taps are a bit too much for anyone else to handle. We're in this bit of a lull state before Baron spawns. Atakan is available, but we've all seen people go around that. Though that said, IG are kind of on it and getting it for free. It's a nice win more objective. It'll get them a fair number of extra petals. We're actually pretty even in that point. It's been a relatively bloody game, so change things around. They got 31 of them. Charging the wall there. Just Tien is actually now in a lot of danger as he's caught on the Equalizer as well. That's really important. Tried to zone people off and ends up getting blown up himself. The solar flare afterwards, fantastic as Rookie spell fluxes and gets the phase rush. Dancing on through. Xiao gets a brief taunt, but all the while on the other side, the Shy does die out to Breathe. Not bad in a 1v3 from the Cassante to at least get something back, but will die nonetheless.
Still a 3-for-1, and Light is alive, I suppose, but with bullet time still available, it's not really like he can jump forwards and do that much, especially when he's still 2,000 gold down as well. IG have been much better in the team fights this game. They've been able to keep Gala safe. Rookie has been...
I saw the results of KTDK earlier and some wildness occurred as well. We just get lots of that in certain teams of League of Legends.
The funny thing for me is, like, hang on a second, Mako's gonna get caught out here. Does have flash and ults.
Pretty tanky right now, but the Eclipse finally runs out. Solar Flare's down on the bullet time. Again in a good angle, but Tien managed to take up a lot of it.
Oh,
the Equalizer afterwards is absolute phenomenon. Tien is roasted Pantheon. Xiaohu comes on in, but there's no one there to save. The Hero's Entrance is a decade late. Breathe flashed over the wall, but so does the Shy. Looking for the flames, but it gets into the base gate. It's actually a fair amount of damage. The Shy's gone way too deep, and they get that kill, but the health wasn't so low. Last auto and the double up block point of Shusho is flashed on in. He wants to keep going. This Poppy has long passed full build and will not need to use any more of their power.
So it's somehow only a 1-for-1, but given that they started out with like a brief 1v5 by Mako on the front line, Mako makes it out without using flash, setting up for another bullet time, which was wonderfully layered with the Equalizer as well. That will open up third dragon for IG. There will be a teleport in from Xiaohu, but he's still 1 and 5, no ultimate. He can't help that much. And look, he had to walk up to look for something. Instead, he just finds his death. It's another kill, which will make the dragon even easier to take. Yet again, third dragon cleanly taken here by IG.
Dragon taken by IG. Sole point, and at this point, the game
IG starting the full court press. Don't have access to Baron yet, but don't really need it, honestly.
Decent shove on forwards there. Turret. About half AP. Knocked into the wall is Mako. Solar Flare comes on down. Damage back is solid. quite enough.
Breathe. Yeah, the one person with the gold lead, much harder to use it. Much harder to use. You can see it in players like that. So there's a realm warp onto mid lane, equalizer to slow him down. He chose the right place to decide. Oh my god, he's exploded.
Oh, don't blame him. Looking, here comes the hero's entrance. Gala just flashes away every time they try for Gala. He's got his flash up. They can't consistently keep earning his life. Gets hit and goes down. The Thornbound Atacon begins to pop. And a last member goes down. Another kill over to Gala, who's picked up nearly everybody this last couple fights, it feels like.
Weibo schooled IG in the first game. Jet and Gala diffed, really, by Tien. And Light, of course, Xiaohu in the mid lane as well. Fantastic Ari game in game 1. Game 2, flip it the other way around. You know, I think Jet has been magnificent on the Poppy. I think Rookie, 8, 1, and 10 on the Rise. You can see why this pick is so powerful on 25-11 with the combo buffs and everything else. Kind of tangentially working to make him a very strong champion, with the AP item changes still kind of working fairly well in his favor.
To the color theorem, this is a blue game, Alex, and therefore we know that blue side will always win. Tien getting jumped on here, Solid Flare comes on down the Zenith Blade afterwards and gets some damage out the Aegis. Salt means very little indeed. Era on a deep flank here. Where is the damage? Can they look for this? Era's going to go looking, trying to jump onto Gala. Remember, has no flash, gets stuck in here, but doesn't really take all that much meaningful damage. They don't have any way to actually threaten Gala through all the front line. Down goes Era again. Golden goes the Shy, stays alive. Light flashes to no avail. He is snuffed out.
Rookie untouched in the fight, machine gunning as Gala brings the extra artillery as well. All guns firing. IG, another clean combo. Weibo have not been able to cancel, I don't think, a single bullet time in this game. I've not seen a single cancelled bullet time. Mid lane, 10-1-11. 80 carry, 9-1 and 10. Well, why not throw in the jungle as well? 2-0-19. Good overall team performance from IG. They'll take the Baron easily. And Weibo, they crumble. But it also means that your first auto attack on someone slaps them very hard with the Deadmans and the extra crit as well from the Thunder Sky. Turret's going to fall down, IG. This is the victory lap. They'll be pushing in. Weibo, they will just have to choose where they die and exactly how. Don't really have a choice about that. Besides it, good stop on the dash back, and it's been an end to a torrid game for Xiao, who just about makes it out and retains a 1-6 scoreline rather than 1-7.
0-7 on the rail as well. It's not been pretty. The Nexus turret under siege. Light eats a single double up and loses half his HP bar. My god, that misfortune is fed Era. Caught on the equalizer, burns out the Shy, gets a double. As his ultimate feels a bit of a lie. There's nothing equal about that damage, that's for sure. It's been IG favored from minute 1. And the snowball careens into Weibo's Nexus. IG will even up the series.
Early saving grace, no one got a Pensa. Felt like it was the kind of game where they could. They'll realm up onto the Nexus for the party trick. And the series